What's happening, guys? Dan Debenham here. You can have the world's worst looking video, but if the sound is brilliant, then people will still watch it. So today we're going to be looking at 3 different microphones. I did this earlier, my fingers and thumbs wouldn't do what I wanted them to do. I ended up looking like this. And I was like, what are you doing? But we're gonna look at 3 different microphones today. Firstly, we're gonna look at the on-camera microphone. That's the microphone that comes with your camera. You don't need to do anything with it. It's already set on. It will pick up sound, etc, etc, etc. Then we're gonna look at 2 other microphones. Both of those microphones are Rode microphones, and they're sort of differenting in price. So we're jumping in price quite drastically, but it's just an indication as to what you can get from each individual microphone and why they're all good to use in their own little way. Why they're all good to use, even though you may have a £1,000 microphone, you may still use this £5 microphone or the on-camera microphone for certain things, depending on what you want to do. So with that, let's have a look and see what we're going to look at today. So we've got the on-camera microphone, which is on at this minute in time a Canon EOS 6D Mark II. And then we're going to look at this little beauty. This is the Rode Video Micro. If I can get this guy out, he is tiny, absolutely tiny. Let's see if we can get him to focus in. Focus, 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 focus. Come on, come on, come on. Let me put that across my face. There we go. So that is the Rode Video Micro. Such a tiny little thing. It's very, very, very small. It comes with this windshield, which we'll put him back into his windshield now so that he's nice and snug and safe. So we're going to go with that. That is £40 or £46 depending on what you get with it. And then we're going to move up and we're going to look at this bad boy. This is the staple of vloggers. This is the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus. This is battery powered, etc, etc, etc. So what is the difference between these? Why would I buy this, which is £249, versus this, which is £46? Or why would I just not keep the on-camera microphone and go with that? Well, firstly, let's have a look at the on-camera microphone. The camera microphone that you've got in your camera is basically what it is. It's on as soon as you switch your camera on, and then it is, the settings in there are next to nil, apart from volume adjustment and a few sundry effects that you might be able to put on there in post. The £40 microphone, the pluses to this is there is no battery power to this. You plug this into your camera, it's what they call phantom powered, so that means it's powered via the camera. So the camera battery is powering this microphone, which means wherever your camera is on, the microphone is on, and you're collecting sound and you're doing everything you need to do with it. It is very, very small. It can pack away really, really tiny. And can be used for a multitude of different things. I have used this to do special effects with, so you can put this microphone right close to what you want it to be. It's very, very close, picks up the sound excellently. It is a directional microphone, so it's basically a miniature shotgun mic. So it's got a very, very narrow cone of sound that it will pick up, which is basically right in front of it. The cons of this probably are going to be that there are no adjustments to it in regard boosting the power or noise cancellation or anything else like that. And also that because it's so small, the distance that you can be from the camera itself whilst you're recording on camera is obviously smaller. So the further and further away you get, the worse and worse and worse the sound gets, obviously, because it's also picking up sound in between you, i.e. wind noise and all the rest of it, and whatever else is there between you, birds flying past you, etc, etc. And so that can be one of the negatives to it. But on the whole, this is a very good microphone. It's got a nice sound to it, and we'll see that in a minute when I nip outside and we do a bit of a sound test between the 3 so you can see the differences. It's not particularly expensive, so I would say this is inexpensive. So you're getting sort of a mid-range, good quality microphone, but with not too much expense. You also get with it, when you buy it, you also get one of these, which is a mount for it. This is a Ricotti mount, so it's got a built-in shock to it, so you don't have to worry about this clattering and making noise or adding into the sound of what you're actually trying to record. So you get that with this as well, along with the cover and so on and so forth. And it is also just a single cable to connect to the camera. Moving on, we've got the Rode Video Mic Pro. This is again, it's a shotgun microphone, but it's much larger. This is also battery powered, so there is an on button on the back. This has a few more settings than what the Micro has, the Video Micro has. This one is has a boost. It has a decibel boost of plus or minus 10%, 10 decibels. Minus 10 decibels plus 20 decibels. It has a low and a high pass filter, so it will filter out low noise. It will filter out high pitched noise as well. Try and get away from that. It has an auto on feature, which means that when this is plugged into the camera switches on, the microphone comes on, and then you're ready to go. The minute that you turn the camera off, the microphone a few seconds later will get a signal from that there is no power coming through this cable, and so it will then switch the microphone off as well. Battery is rechargeable, and in some instances can last 100 hours. Or so I've been told. I have had this microphone since November, and I have yet to charge this microphone, despite it being used on every video where I am outside. This is pretty much constantly attached to my camera, and it is pretty much on all the time, and I have yet to charge this microphone up. This comes with a foam cover over the top of it with Rode written on the side of it. This dead cat is extra. I think it's an extra 25 or 29 pounds, but fits around the back as a rubber seal. It fits around the back and what have you, so it's quite neat. And it's a niche product specifically for this microphone, so it's not something you just bang straight on and then off you go. It actually fits to the microphone in the same way that the foam sleeve that fits over the top is a noise canceller that fits over the top. And effectively the foam sleeve is to basically try and cut down on pops and de-essing and all the rest of the kind of good stuff that you do when you're talking, I mean, all this kind of business, and the pop of this kind of when you're spitting at the microphone and what have you. That cuts down on that. But the wind noiser, that pretty much, this dead cat, that pretty much stays on all the time. I don't really use the foam one. Pretty much stuck this on, left it on. That's what it looks like. So with that, the negatives to the Video Mic Pro Plus. Cost is one negative. It's £249, which is quite a lot for an on-camera microphone, especially for somebody starting out, for instance, or somebody who's getting into it. Nobody says you have to go out and splurge thousands on equipment. As I say, the £40 Video Micro probably just as good, in terms of getting started, it's just as good for you. You get decent results out of it. But with that, I'll tell you what, let's go outside, let's have a look and see how they are. So here we are in a park, and I just wanted to show you the on-camera microphone, what that sort of thing is picking up. There's no real way of narrowing that sound down. It's quite a wide sound, so microphones are at either side of the lens, and it's going to pick up as much sound as it possibly can. This is sort of an average distance between the camera and the microphone. I'm about 4 feet away from where the camera is at the minute, and it's basically going to pick up the surrounding area and everything that is actually happening on board it. It's quite a high-pitched sound, and you will notice a difference when we switch to the Rode Video Micro, which we'll do around about now. Okay, so as you can see now, we're standing roughly about the same distance away, about 4 feet away from the camera, which is the general sort of distance for the camera that the person would be talking from it. Any more distance than that, you're going to want to be booming it in, or you're going to want a lapel mic. And you can tell the difference between this microphone and the previous microphone, which was the onboard camera one. It's got a little bit more wind isolation, and it's going to pick up some of the surrounding sounds, but in a much more protracted way, so that it doesn't overbear what I'm actually talking about. And you can feel that the depth of sound from within this microphone picking up is a little bit better. If I step a little bit further away, you'll notice that the sound does get a little bit further, and it does struggle somewhat to pick up the sound just a little bit, because the distance and the shortness of the shotgun microphone. But that's the consequence of having something that is quite small. But on the plus side, it is easy to pack away, and it is also very easy to use. There's no battery, as I said previously, so all the power is coming from the phantom power on the camera itself. And so now what we'll do is we'll switch to the Video Mic Pro Plus. Okay, so now we're into the Video Mic Pro Plus, and as you can tell, the sound has gone up exponentially. There is a lot more tonal range to this sound. I have, for the sake of this particular test, I have not turned on the low pass filters or anything. This is basically just the mic as it is, without any extra help from itself. This is just the microphone doing what it does best. And as you can tell, the sound is much crisper, much clearer. There is much more sort of depth to that sound. And even I can see from here on the metering system here that the sound is a lot louder, and it's picking up a lot more of the noise and a lot more of the sound, and cutting out some more of that wind. If I step back a little bit and I go to maybe sort of another 3 or 4 feet backwards, you'll notice that the sound, whilst it does drop slightly, it is still picking up that sound quite well, and it is not actually making that much of a difference. So here now I'm roughly around about sort of 8 feet away from the camera, and it's still picking up my voice very, very well. I'm not having to shout, I'm not having to change the timbre of my voice, and I'm also not having to make any adjustments in volume, just so that we can make sure that we get an equal test. It seems to be working admirably. You can tell the difference, and you can see why this microphone is £249, and why it is the choice of pretty much every vlogger that is out there. Everybody's either had one of these or uses one of these at some point in their career. So with that, let's get back to the studio and let's have a look and see what else we can do. Oh, actually, one thing before we do that, let's have a look and see how it picks up on sort of the bird noises and different sort of sounds. Let's have a look and see what these two microphones do, as averse to the on-camera microphone. With that, let's go back to the studio. So as you can tell, the on-camera microphone is quite harsh, it's quite noisy, it picks up just about everything that's going off around you, and is not particularly focused. As predicted, the Video Mic Pro is slightly more focused, and the depth of sound is slightly deeper and slightly better in recording quality. And then obviously you're jumping up by £200 to the Video Mic Pro Plus, which again is even deeper and more focused and cuts out more noise and so on and so forth. And it's what you would expect it to be, is that microphone would be better than all the others that were tested here today. So I hope you found it useful. If you did, please do like and subscribe below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.